Hi everybody, Jared with Tactical Bay here. And what we've got for you today is we're going to show you how to install the Taran Tactical Oversized Bolt Release. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go ahead and disassemble the existing bolt release on here and drill and tap it to accept the new Taran Tactical piece, which is going to go just about there. Now, we're going to be using the Stoeger M3000 today. It's going to be very, very similar for the Benellis, so you should be able to use it either direction. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is take out this existing bolt release, and to do that there's a small pin slot right here. This is where the Benellis and the Stoegers are going to differ a little bit. On the Stoegers there's a little cotter pin on the inside, which is right here. It's going to be a little hard to see in the video, but you're going to want to hold on to that and make sure that it doesn't go flying, because it's a very, very small piece and it's easy to lose. But to start, we're going to go ahead and take our punch, a properly sized punch, slide it in there, and then we're going to just tap it out. And while we're holding the pin or the punch, we're also going to hold and depress the existing bolt release. So go ahead and tap that punch in, and once you do that, the pin will start to slide out, and you just want to tap it until the pin falls out. Now at this point your punch is going to hold on to where the pin was, as long as you have a properly sized one. So there's your pin, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And now, like I said, you want to go ahead and make sure that your thumb is on where that cotter pin is, depress it, and slide your punch out. It's going to be a little tight on there. Once you do that, we can go ahead and release everything, and it'll fall right out. And there's your cotter pin. So we'll go ahead and set our receiver aside. There's that small cotter pin right there. It's a little hard to see. There you go. So we'll set that aside with the rest of our parts. And then there's another pin inside your existing latch. So if you can see it right there. It's a very, very small pin right there. So we're going to go ahead and punch that piece out. And then once we punch that piece out, make sure again that you hold on to this existing latch, because it's under spring tension. There's a detent there also that you want to hold on to. So we will go ahead and take our small punch, and then depress it, and this one should push out pretty easily. So we'll go ahead and push, and there it goes. So there's our pin. Set that aside. Hold on to it. There's your latch, spring, and detent. So hold on to all these pieces. They're very small and very easy to lose. Okay, so now that we've got this aside, you want to take this apart because we're going to be drilling and tapping this piece right here. What I would suggest is I'm actually going to start from the inside. Since there's already a small groove where the detent is, it's going to give us a nice place to stay centered. And also, if we go from the inside to the out, any kind of small pieces that we have that end up on the outside from drilling, we can knock those off very easily on the outside. Whereas if we do it the other way and use a center punch to punch in the middle here, get a guide, and go through, there can be small little pieces inside that we won't be able to get to easily, at least. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw this up in the vise, and we'll go ahead and drill and tap this, and we'll show you how to do that. Now, just a little key piece of information. On Taran Tactical's website, they don't actually say what tap you're going to need to use. So for that tap, you're going to want to use a 540 tap, and then the drill bit is a number 32 drill bit. So we'll go ahead and we'll put all that info in the description below so that you have it. But let's go ahead and get this done up in the vise, and we'll start drilling. Okay, key piece of advice for this part is that we want to make sure and take it as slow as we can, but still get pressure on it. We want this to be a nice straight hole so that when we do the tap, we don't have to worry about it getting loose or anything, and then it'll get a good tight tap. So let's go ahead and drill right in the center. So we've got our pilot hole made, and it's alright if it's slightly off center. We just want to make sure that it's a good clean hole. So we're going to go ahead and clean up this top, and then we'll start the tap. We'll show you that. Okay, so we've got our pilot hole cleaned up, and now what we're going to do is take our 540 tap, and we're going to very, very slowly tap this and get it all threaded. Now, one of the key things with doing this is that you want to make sure and stay as straight as possible. And then once you start getting it going, you want to take and give it about a half turn to 3/4 turn, and then give it a quarter turn back. What that's going to do is break all those little pieces inside that are going to hang up, and it'll give you a lot cleaner tap. So get the first couple threads going. Alright, so we've got our tap all the way through. Now, another important thing you want to remember is to make sure and get the tap actually all the way through. I've seen before where people take and they'll get their tap down, and then they won't finish the threads out, and they won't be able to get their whatever they're trying to thread for all the way in. But we've got it all the way through, and we'll go ahead and back this out. And once we back this out, we'll test fit everything, make sure that we're good to go on the threads. It's always good to test your threads on something that you're not worried about ahead of time. That way, if you have the wrong piece, you don't drill a hole accidentally and ruin whatever piece you're actually working on. So we've got our threads done, and now we'll take our Taran Tactical set screw and we'll just thread this in there. And it should thread real smoothly in there, just like that. And we got all the way through. So now we can go ahead and reassemble our shotgun, and with the drilled hole back in there, and we'll be able to put our new bolt release in. Okay, so now that we've got the factory bolt release reinstalled on the shotgun, we're going to go ahead and install the Taran Tactical Oversized bolt release. Now, one thing to note is that the detent pin that used to be in here, you actually don't want to put that back in. If you do, it's going to interfere with the bolt catch on the back, and it's going to keep the shells from loading properly. So go ahead and leave that out, just reinsert the spring in there, and then the screw, the set screw on the Taran Tactical bolt release is going to actually act as your detent, so it'll make sure that it doesn't go down too far. So all you're going to do is just start the thread on there. Now, typically you're going to want to do Loctite on here just to make sure that you don't have to worry about it at the range or during a match or anything losing it. But for right now, just for demo purposes, we're going to go ahead and just tighten it down. And we'll get it all snug and straight in line. And there you go. That's all it is. Check, make sure it's functioning properly. And then you also want to put your shotgun back together with a bolt and everything, and do a function check to make sure that everything is good, nothing's catching anywhere. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment below, and we'll leave links to Taran Tactical's website and also to our website that you can find more articles on the Stoeger M2000 and any other Taran Tactical modifications we've made. Thanks for watching.